Hey, it's Andrea. Welcome to today's masterclass, Setting Yourself Up for Success in 2022. I'm happy that you could join me. If you are catching this on the replay, be sure and let me know in the comments that you're catching it on the replay. So 2022 is all about setting the intentions for this year, and that's what this whole masterclass is about, is that if we set our intentions, that we have a better chance of succeeding and hitting our goals. So the first thing that I want to talk about is that if you don't do the actions, you can set as many goals as you want, you can create as many vision boards as you want, but you will not accomplish what you set out to accomplish. To get to that result, it requires that you come in and day out and do the necessary work. We can sit and envision it and do all the things, but at the end of the day, we still have to do some work. So this session is all about setting ourselves up, and I do believe that setting ourselves up with a vision board done a very specific way will help increase our chances of success. The thing about success is that we have to see it in our mind first. Whatever we're wanting to accomplish, we have to be able to see it in our mind, because once we see it in our mind, then it can manifest in the outside world. But if we can't see ourselves doing it, we're probably not going to do it. So let us really focus on controlling those thoughts, all of the internal things that we see, hear, and think. Because where we focus, our energy goes, and where our energy goes, that tends to expand or grow. Now, too many times during the day, we are focused on the lack of leads, the lack of connections, the lack of money, the lack of sales, the lack. So therefore, that tends to grow. So if we can shift our focus from the lack of to what we have, then we can start to see some changes. Because the way the mind was made, it is so miraculous that it cannot tell fact from fiction. So that's when our imagination can come into play. We can imagine that we've already done it, see it, tie it with some emotion, and that's going to help increase our chances of actually accomplishing it. So the way that we're going to design the actual vision board is going to be based on science, based on including some gratitude, tying some emotion to it, and the action needed, all the things so that we can really set ourselves up for success this year. So changes come through repetition, y'all. We didn't hear one time as a child, no, don't touch that, it's hot. We heard it over and over and over again. And that's the way our belief system has been designed. It's been designed through that repetition of being told certain things, things that you're supposed to think, things you're supposed to do, all the things that become habitual behaviors and habits in our mind that creates that paradigm for us, or our belief system that drives all of our activity. So if it can be created through repetition, then it can be changed through repetition, right? So our behaviors are driven by our paradigm or our belief system that is programmed into our unconscious mind. So we have to be intentional on the activities that we show up and do each day if we're wanting different results. So I am going to share my screen so that we can go into Canva and we can look at together a vision board that you can use. It's a template. I'll put the template in the group. You can use this to create your own vision board. But Okay, so I have the screen shared. So I laid this out for this class. The way I have the vision board set up, this is the way I did it last year after I did a class with someone. And I hit 5 out of 7 of my goals for 2021 in the different areas. So I have the vision board set up in spiritually, family time, experiences, personal development, career, health, and finances. And the way we're going to set up our goals for the year is that we're going to include some gratitude. So we'll start each of our goals out as I am so happy and grateful now that, and we'll put what we want to accomplish this year so that I could, and then we'll put why we wanted to accomplish that and tie some emotion to it. So we'll start with the spiritual. So I am so happy and grateful now that I have read 365 chapters of the Bible this year so that I could grow closer to God, fully understand His purpose for my life, and be refilled daily with His goodness. So you can see that I started it out with gratitude. I'm so happy and grateful now. This is based on Think and Grow Rich, when Napoleon Hill talked about that you should basically create the future that you want. And you started off with I'm so happy and grateful now that I have read 365 chapters of the Bible this year so that I could grow closer to God, fully understand His purpose for my life, and be fulfilled daily with His goodness. So when I read that, like, I feel the emotion tied to that, to know that if I'm growing closer to God, and I do that by reading 365 chapters, which is a chapter a day, which is my goal, right? So on family time, I'm so happy and grateful now that I spend more quality time with Corey and Annabeth, laughing and creating memories so that I felt fulfilled and full of love and connection. That's my goal on the family. It's all about spending that quality time, feeling fulfilled, being connected, feeling love, laughing, and just enjoying life, right? Because I believe without having balance in all the areas of our life, it's going to lead to burnout. It's going to lead to feeling unfulfilled. It's going to lead to self-doubt, all the self-sabotage that can come into play when we're not balanced. So what good does it do us to hit our finance goals, but every other area of our life is being sacrificed just to hit the income? Because if we think that money is what's going to make us happy, then we're in for a long road ahead. Because if we can't find that happiness in those other areas of our life when we're on the journey to hitting our financial goals, that's when the magic happens. Is that when we can find that happiness and that joy and that fulfillment along the way. And we can do that with setting goals in all the areas. For me personally, 2021 was a really good year. Yeah, there were some bad things that happened with the virus. My mom had COVID, almost died. But you know what? She also lived. And I look and I read and grew closer to God like my goal was. And I spent more time with my family, and I learned to appreciate them more. And I read the books that I wanted to read, and I hit the ranks that I wanted to hit. And I experienced all the things that I wanted to experience as far as vacations and that kind of thing goes. So I mean, over 75% of what I set out to do, I did in 21. And I anticipate the same thing happening in 22 because I'm setting myself up for success, just like I would encourage you to do. So I set some words for 22, and my words of the year are purpose, serving, and connection. And what I'm going to use those words for is almost a filter for my actions. If someone asks me to do something and it doesn't align, that it's going to lead me closer to serving, leading me closer to walking in my purpose or connecting, then I just can't do it, right? Because I have these intentions set for the year. And my actions are going to be driven by me moving closer to my intentions. So I would encourage you to set some words for 22 as we're like a little over halfway through the first month. Now, I just went over into the photo section and did a search, and you can just literally pull the photo over and drop. If you want to put your own personal, you just go to uploads, upload the media, and then you can drop it over. It's ready. Just pull it over and it'll drop in right there. So I would encourage you to take some time, set up this vision board, save it on your phone so you can look at it daily, so you can really envision when you read it, like feel the emotion tied to like at the end of the year, when I know I've spent time every day with God reading his word, how is that going to feel? And when I know I've spent the time that I wanted to with my family throughout the year and we've grown and we've laughed and all the wonderful things that we've done together, how is that going to feel? And I would just encourage you to look at that day after day as you work towards those goals. So I hope this was helpful. If you want to share your vision board in the group, I would welcome you to. And so kind of like a form of accountability or whatever, just design it the way you want to design it. I just wanted to give everyone just a little sample template so that it could help you a little bit. So I can't wait to see some of your vision boards that you post, and let's like rock out 22 and let it be our best year, not only financially, but in all areas of our life. So I will talk to you again tomorrow as we start diving into what needs to happen for us to hit these goals. Have a great night, and I'll talk to you again soon.